Last night in Kansas City, the Royals snapped a 5-game losing streak and took the first game of this 3-game set against the Yankees. The city of Fountains ready to host more baseball tonight, though, and the fans are fired up no matter who they're rooting for because they all get a George Brett Pine Tar bobblehead. It's the Yankees against the Royals in the middle game of a 3-game set, and it's time for Yankees baseball on Yes. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside David Cohn. So happy to be with you this Saturday night here on Yes. Well, the Yankees had a long layoff without baseball before yesterday's game. They didn't look particularly sharp defensively, offensively, or on the mound. But here's the good news for the Yankees. They turned to their ace, Luis Severino, tonight, and he has been just spectacular this season.
Well, it is infectious, Ryan, and you're right. When the Yankees know they come to the ballpark and this guy's on the mound, they're going to have a good chance to win the game. I mean, they've won 8 out of his 9 starts, 8-1 when he does take the mound, and why not be confident? I mean, this guy is just electric all year long, confident. He's got 3 well above average pitches. He can strike you out with sliders. He can blow it by you with fastballs, and he's got a very good improving changeup that he can throw at any time to righties or lefties. Luis Severino clearly the ace.
Look at the numbers. They're incredible. 6-1, 2.14 ERA. You see the strikeouts to walks. As David mentioned, the Yankees won 8 of his 9 starts, and in Severino's only career start against the Royals, he threw 8 shutout innings last May. Now, one of the things Severino will have to do, or will try to do, is something the Yankees could not do last night, and that's get out Whit Merrifield. He was a pest at the plate and on the bases.
Boy, he really was. You talk about a guy that has kind of come out of nowhere. Last year had a breakout season. He's got power, he's got speed, he can drive the baseball. He wreaks havoc on the base pass. It's not just about stealing bases, it's his success rate as well. I mean, this guy really was the catalyst last night. You don't really say one guy wins a game for you, but if he didn't show up, the Royals probably don't win that game last night, and that's Whit Merrifield, probably the best player on the Royals this year so far.
Merrifield in the midst of an 11-game hitting streak in which he has hit .465, which leads Major League Baseball over that span. 6 extra base hits in those 11 games. And you see the stolen bases. As David said, it's not just that he's stealing them with great success. 8 for 8. Well, as we get ready for the middle game of this 3-game set, we're going to turn things over to Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty. They will tee you up for action between the Yankees and Royals next.
Baseball on Yes, I'm Meredith Morakovitz. It's been a bumpy start to the season for Clint Frazier. He suffered a concussion back in spring training on February 24th. He missed the rest of spring training and a little bit of the regular season. But once he finally came back, he made his presence known in the batter's box. In 16 minor league games, a .323 average, 4 home runs. He was recalled by the Yankees on Tuesday. He is yet to get in a game, but tonight he gets his first opportunity of the 2018 season serving as the team's DH.
I'm excited that, he's getting an opportunity here. He's earned this opportunity again. With going through his rehab process and being optioned, he's played really well. He's swung the bat really well, so he's earned this opportunity. And, I feel like I know what he's capable of. So, yeah, I'm excited about him potentially coming in and impacting our lineup. With that said, I don't want him being too excited. I want him to go out there and let his talent take over and play his game, and hopefully he can help us to a victory tonight.
You look at the concussion that you had to overcome in spring. Was there ever a time that you thought, am I ever going to get better here? Am I going to get back to baseball activity? Because I know it took a little longer than you thought it might have.
That was a thought for a while. I was still doing baseball activity, but still felt slight symptoms. But, I was told the more that you push through it, the better it'll feel after you get your body going. But for me, it was kind of a helpless feeling, because there's no finish line. You don't know whenever it's going to end, and everything's different. And sometimes it's not good to ask too many questions. So I just tried to just accept that it happened and be ready to move on whenever that time comes.
100%?
I'm 100%.
When I asked Clint Frazier if he was ready to get out there tonight, he smiled, his eyes lit up, and he said, "This is the start of my 2018 season." Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, you'll hear from David Cohn and Brian Bruco.
Event going on now by LG OLED TV with AI ThinQ, and by Infinity. Empower the drive. Visit your tri-state area Infinity retailer for a test drive today. Bit of an overcast night in Kansas City. Hoping for rain to hold off as the Yankees and Royals get ready to play the middle game of this 3-game set. We'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup. It's brought to you by Lexus. Aaron Hicks leading things off in center field. Aaron Judge in the normal 2-hole. You see what Giancarlo Stanton has done against lefties this year. He's just pulverized them. Then Gary Sanchez, Tyler Austin at first. Miguel Andujar slides up to the 6th spot. Clint Frazier playing his first game of the 2018 season with Ronald Torres spelling Didi Gregorius, and Gleyber Torres rounding out what will be 9 right-handed batters.
The 29-year-old Danny Duffy on the mound here for the Royals tonight. And on the season, you can see those numbers are a little big and a little bit fat. It's like hitting a golf ball fat, you know. It's not what you want. And let's go ahead and give you the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And the tough start, we showed you those numbers. The problem, walks plus home runs. 22 walks and 12 home runs given up in those 9 starts. Well, that tells the story right there. But still remains confident. You know, even though nobody knows what's wrong, his stuff is still good. He's still considered a tough lefty. Is why Aaron Boone put out all right-handed batters against him tonight.
Yeah, the splits are stark when it comes to lefty-righty with Duffy. Aaron Hicks going to lead off. Brett Gardner getting the day because of those splits. So far this season, lefties with a paltry 571 OPS against Duffy, whereas righties have mashed him to the tune of a 983 OPS. Hicks coming off a 3-hit game last night. And he takes strike 1. And Duffy quickly ahead 0-2. Bounced up there. Duffy has been very hard on himself with the season he's having. And that's actually part of what the Royals are trying to manage, just trying to get his confidence back, or to stay positive more so as he goes through this stretch. As Hicks lines that into center field, and Aaron Hicks has his 4th hit in 2 games here in Kansas City. Take a look at the defense presented by Geico. Across the outfield for the Royals, it's Alex Gordon, John Jay, Jorge Soler. Ryan Goins gets the start at 3rd with Moustakas DHing. Then it's Escobar and Merrifield up the middle. Dozier at 1st, and Salvador Perez catching Danny Duffy. And here's Aaron Judge. Strike 1 to Judge last night. Aaron Judge 0 for 4 and snapped his 7-game RBI streak.
He had some pitches to hit last night too, and just missed a couple of.
He was putting on a show in BP, as he usually does. Drawing the oohs and ahs of the fans here as he was finding new places in the fountains to deposit baseballs.
There is nobody like him in the major leagues right now during batting practice. Or during the game, for that matter.
And the interesting thing about Judge is when he's talked about his season thus far, and he was telling Dan Martin of the New York Post this again the other day, he said, I'm still waiting for a hot streak. I don't feel like I've had a hot streak. I don't feel like I've been consistent, which I don't know how he doesn't feel like he's been consistent, but he always wants more. Taking a look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 78 degrees, 57% humidity, and thunderstorms are possible with these overcast skies.
Of course they are. And yes, it will rain.
It's been that kind of season so far. No surprise, another full count on Judge. Well, the Nationals were rained out again yesterday, and I think they were dealing with rain again today in D.C.
You wonder why baseball players are superstitious, right? I mean, Pedro Serrano. Next thing you know, he's
sacrificing chickens in the locker room.
Start burning sage.
That's it. The payoff, and Judge stays alive. they did get in the game this afternoon in D.C., able to fight through the potential weather. Dodgers beat the Nationals 4-1. A check on Hicks, and as our fans back in the tri-state area know who are watching, it's raining in New York right now. Mets are in a delay. For now, holding off in Kansas City. The 3-2. Judge stays alive again.
We're just going to have open start times for these games, right? Just show up. We'll start when we can. Could be 2 o'clock, could be 5.
Treat it more like a party rather than a game.
We'll start it when we can.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming. And Judge takes strike 3 on the inside corner as Duffy wins the battle.
Another deep count for Aaron Judge, and you see thread the needle on the inside corner. Salvi Perez does a great job of framing. Judge tries to sell it a minute and then heads back to the dugout.
Here is Stanton, who has just demolished left-handed pitching so far this season. .459 batting average, a slugging percentage over 1100. Gets the call off the inside corner for strike 1.
Smart pitching right there, trying to expand inside, find out where the umpire's zone is. And yes, obviously, there's a human element. Every umpire's interpretation is a little bit different.
Jim Wolf, the home plate umpire tonight. They see the Royals not wearing the names on the back of the jerseys this evening. That is because they're throwing it back to the 1969 Royals uniforms, when this was an expansion franchise honoring 50 years of the Kansas City Royals. Stanton hits that in the air to center field and fairly deep. Jay has room and makes the catch just on the edge of the track. Hicks wisely tagging and makes it into second. So he gets into scoring position with 2 outs after the Stanton long flyout.
A little bit of vibration on the sound. I mean, it takes an educated ear to hear that, but this is a big ballpark too. And right on cue, Ryan, that is a great read from Aaron Hicks, and now in scoring position.
Now bring up Gary Sanchez. Hit a couple of balls hard with no fruit. Deep to left field last night.
Just a little bit of a hollow sound off of that bat. And that ball still went 405 feet off of Stanton's bat.
The 1-0 to Sanchez. Duffy 3-2, a 4.89 ERA in his career against the Yankees. And behind Sanchez, 2-1. For Duffy this year, the percentage of balls that are being barreled against him, almost double what it was last year. The exit velocity way up, the hard hit percentage way up. And as a result, the ERA way up. Big swing and a miss there, 95 miles an hour, and it's 2-2.
Well, no question about the stuff. I mean, mid-90s coming out, good sliders. In and out with his fastball. The one changeup he got up was to Hicks that he gave up the hit on. Quality pitching.
Hicks leads off second. The 2-2. Hit in the air to left center field. Racing back is Jay. So is Gordon looking up, and it's one hop off the wall. Hicks will score. Sanchez into second with a 2-out RBI double, and it's 1-0 Yankees.
We've seen Sanchez be able to cover the inner half of the plate so well, brings his hands in, and this gives you an idea of how much square footage there is in this outfield in Kansas City. That ball bounced on the warning track, and neither Gordon nor the center fielder were anywhere near that.
Right, that was up there for a long time. As Tyler Austin takes a mean hack and fouls it straight back. Sanchez finally getting one of those balls to drop that he has been so unlucky with throughout this season, as we detailed numerically courtesy of that Katie Sharp article in The Athletic that showed the poor luck that Sanchez has hit in thus far this season. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. The 0-2 in the dirt. Sanchez will move to third as it skips away from Perez. And that is a wild pitch for Duffy.
Got the StatCast readings, and we'll get a look at this wild pitch down. That's a tough one to block for Salvi. But Gary Sanchez, 101 miles an hour off the bat, just hit it in the right spot in the gap, pulled it. 386 feet.
Swing and a miss. Austin down on strikes, but the Yankees get on the board first, courtesy of Gary Sanchez. They have a 1-0 lead. Jay in the leadoff spot tonight with Jorge Soler having a very strong May right behind him. Mike Moustakas DHing this evening. Perez, then Whit Merrifield, who was such a thorn in the Yankee side last night, slides to 5. Alex Gordon, the young Hunter Dozier, Alcides Escobar, and Ryan Goins round out the Royals lineup.
Here's Sevy ready to go. This will be his 10th start on the year. Those numbers are very skinny. So Danny Duffy's numbers were fat. These are the opposite, really skinny. That's a good thing if you're a pitcher. And let's go ahead and give you the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers, and looking to dominate. I mean, he's not satisfied with his third place finish last year in the Cy Young Award voting. He knows he can get better. He wants it. His presence on the mound tells you everything you need to know. I mean, if you're a young pitcher, watch his body language, how aggressive he is, how confident he is. And I really think his mix of pitches are better than ever right now. I mean, he's worked with Larry Rothschild on using his changeup more, especially righty on righty. He's interesting right now as he's starting to figure things out there, and he knows he's good.
Take a look at the Yankees defense behind him, presented by Geico. Stanton gets the start in left with Hicks and Judge, and Duhar at third, Ronald Torres at short, Gleyber Torres and Tyler Austin with Gary Sanchez catching Luis Severino. Severino will deal to Jay, and it's strike one. Yankees reshuffle their rotation so that Severino did not have any more rest than an extra day. Trying to keep him as sharp as possible. Of course, the Yankees were presented with that opportunity because of the rainouts in Washington. It's grounded to the left side. Torres across his body, off the bag. Austin makes the tag for out number one.
Well, how about let's not play in a week, and of course the first play is going to go right to Torres, and Austin outstanding. The only chance he had was to come off the bag. Look how far that is up, and indeed he is out.
Soler punches that to right. Judge hauls it in, and two quick outs here in the first.
It's smart managing, you know. Let's pitch Sevy as much as we can, right? I mean,
well, so if the 7 days is going to throw you off your rhythm at all, why mess with it with the guy who is going so good right now?
It's a smart move. Stick with Sevy.
Well, he's just pumping him in there.
No messing around, you know, right back on the mound, right on the rubber. He's waiting on the hitter.
Gotta love that rhythm right there. Right back up.
Talk about the pitch clock. It should be the hitter's clock.
Well, it's true.
We tend to, excuse me, Ryan, we tend to focus on pitchers and how long they take to throw a pitch, and then you see these ranks have a lot to do with his pacing. He's aggressive, putting the hitters on the defense all the time.
Perfectly played. Torres there, inning over, an 8-pitch 1-2-3 first for Luis Severino. 1-0 Yankees as we go to the second.
Redbird's return is right around the corner. Yesterday with the Trenton Thunder, he hit a home run. He's playing with the Thunder again tonight, and then he could join the AAA team. There's some bad weather, so he might fly there and join the AAA team to continue to get at bats. Same with Tommy Kahnle. He's scheduled to throw in Trenton tomorrow, but they don't know how that is going to shake out. The Yankees could potentially bring him back as early as next week. But guys, this certainly opens up a lot of roster questions when these two guys get back. Bird obviously more so than Tommy Kahnle.
Yeah, Meredith, how close does it sound like Bird is, according to Aaron Boone?
Well, they believe that he's feeling good at the plate right now from what they've seen. He feels healthy, and that's the biggest thing. They wanted to see him continually play back-to-back 9 innings and make sure he can get through that without feeling anything in that ankle. And all reports so far are that Greg Bird has felt fine. So it seems as though he could be back pretty soon.
It's good news for the Yankees because, David, even though the offense has been humming and certainly there have been multiple people who have acquitted themselves nicely at first base, whether it's Tyler Austin or Neil Walker, Greg Bird adds a different element to this lineup.
Well, the balance, the left-hander, with all the right-handed power that the Yankees have up and down their lineup. And Greg Bird also is a very selective hitter. High on base percentage guy, knows the strike zone.
And we saw in the postseason last year, as Andujar lines that to right field, we're right at Soler for the out. We saw Bird maybe have the most consistent at-bats series to series last year throughout the postseason. The batting average wasn't great overall, but the on-base percentage was very high, and it just seemed like he always had quality at-bats.
I think a lot of the Yankees instructors and scouts feel like he may have the best eye of the bunch, meaning understanding the strike zone. What's a ball, what's a strike.
Meanwhile, Clint Frazier, his first at bat of the 2018 season, and he takes high and in for ball 1. Frazier was mashing at AAA. You see his numbers in the minors overall this season. And as we saw with Meredith off the open of the show, Frazier just so excited to be back playing after the scare he went through with his concussion. Was also equally excited that he got to stay with the Yankees after those 2 games in the National League Park in D.C.
Which was not a given. And he was brought up just to help in that series.
The 2-1 inside, and Frazier had 3-1. Clint Frazier's parents, as well as his girlfriend, are here in Kansas City to watch the game. Good take from Frazier, and he walks. And we know he has some bounce on the bases.
That's been the thing that's really hurt Duffy this year so far. Is the free passes, number 23 on the year.
Torres pops that into center. Easy for Jay. 2 down. And I'll bring up Gleyber Torres, who had a tough night in the field last night. A costly error at second, a looper behind the bag at second that if he caught maybe would have prevented the Royals' first run. But he was once again totally accountable at his locker, talking about how he felt bad. He had to make CC Sabathia throw more pitches and how he wanted to just get better and have a better day today. And of course, CC and Aaron Boone and the Yankees to a man all talked about what a terrific defender he is and how he just had a tough night.
Sometimes it's just as simple as a little hop or a read or hanging back for a half a step. And
Torres punches that to right. Soler coming on makes the catch, and that ends the inning. Frazier walks, no more damage in the second. Yankees. We've asked on Twitter, what do you think of the Royals losing Eric Hosmer and Lorenzo Cain to free agency prior to this season? And Ansky81 answered, they were a huge part of their World Series run, so it's definitely strange to see a KC lineup without them. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going. There's the championship banner, which Hosmer and Cain helped raise in 2015 after a run to the World Series in 2014 and falling a run short against the Giants. Also, we see the wind picking up a little bit here in Kansas City. That was a tough call for them, though, last year, David, around the trade deadline, knowing they had multiple core pieces facing free agency who were beloved by this fan base, and whether or not to go for one last run or try and cash in with those guys.
They showed loyalty and tried to cash in one more time. It's always a problem for a smaller market to cover up any mistakes you make, you know, and who do you give the money to? And obviously Alex Gordon was already on the books with a big contract. Mike Moustakas, you know, had to come back to the weird winter, you know, and the kind of strange market and the new collective bargaining agreement that developed for a lot of these guys. Mike Moustakas could have taken the qualifying offer, which was a little over $17 million. Ended up taking a fraction of that to come back.
Severino walks Perez on 5 pitches. He's on to lead off the second. And Cain ended up landing with Milwaukee. They're off to a strong start this season, and Hosmer in San Diego with the Padres. This is the guy who maybe has these fans most excited, hoping for a piece of another core to come. Whit Merrifield had 3 hits, 3 stolen bases last night. First player to do that against the Yankees since Jason Kipnis back in 2012. Yesterday was actually the 2-year anniversary of Merrifield's major league debut. The 0-2? Yeah. Nasty slider. Merrifield down on strikes.
Well, this is how you do it. Straight down with the slider, get him to chase. Nice job by Gary blocking. You wonder, how do you swing at a pitch in the dirt? Well, the guy throws 98 miles an hour. I mean, you got to start your swing early. You're guessing back and forth. And Sevy has really learned how to bury right-handed hitters with that slider.
Alex Gordon takes strike 1. Changeup on the outside corner. Little down. Last 6 starts, Severino 4-0 with a 1.54 ERA. Alex Gordon, after a scorching hot start, last 9 games, he has struggled. 4 for 30. And that's not going to help as Severino fans Gordon with a slider.
That's the definition of a good slider. If you can throw it right down the middle and they still swing at it and miss it by that much. Usually when you get strikeouts with your slider, that's to chase right out of the zone. That's right down the middle. That's how good it is. 90 miles an hour with excellent depth.
And he just pitches with such confident tempo.
That's how you tell when people have really good breaking stuff. If they can throw it in the strike zone and still get swings and misses.
Sanchez keeps it in front of him. Perez stays anchored at first. Well, he got a swing and miss out of the zone with the slider with Merrifield, and then in the zone with the slider with Gordon.
Yeah, the major league average fastball is probably around 92 to 93. That's almost his slider, Severino. Just a tick below the average velocity on a major league fastball.
And he's ahead of Dozier now, 1-2.
And we talked about Sevy and his presence on the mound. 7 for 7 in first pitch strikes.
The 1-2. He got him. Severino strikes out the side after the walk to Perez, all on sliders. Hear from Clint Frazier on his rehab from concussion symptoms, plus get a peek at another top prospect, Thairo Estrada, as the young shortstop makes an early AAA impact. Premieres Tuesday night after Yankees coverage only on ES. Make sure you check out Homegrown. It's such a terrific insight into these young players, getting to know them as they make their ascent to the big leagues and what they go through in the minors at AAA.
I like that dramatic music to that show,
right?
Right?
Kind of brings you into the moment.
A little bit. Sounds like the Legend of Zelda music to me.
I didn't picture you as a Legend of Zelda guy.
Yes.
By the way, I spent time earlier today YouTubing Taxi, and you're right. That scene with Christopher Lloyd and his driver's test, it was terrific.
Funny, right? I didn't pay it off, though. You know, slow down. That's the payoff line of that whole bit. Reverend Jim's driving test.
What do you do when you come to a yellow light?
Slow down.
What do you do? See, you took me down a rabbit hole, though, because then I was on like clip after clip after clip from the show.
It's a great show. Danny DeVito running the garage. Christopher Lloyd, great acting.
Mm-hmm. Aaron Hicks singled and scored in the first. And he drives that in the air to right field and deep. Soler back, looking up, and it's off the top of the wall. Hicks rounding second. He's got a chance to score here. Hicks rounding third. He is headed home, and Aaron Hicks will score standing on an inside the park home run. All smiles and maybe a little out of breath for Hicks.
He really had to turn it on. I think he thinks this is gone right here. He's kind of breaking it down, and then the big ricochet, and is that gone? No, you better go. And there's so much room out down there in the corner that he had plenty of time at that point. You see, once this hits the pole right above, right on top of the green mat, actually, and from that point on, you're going to have plenty of time. You could have walked home.
Second inside the Parker of the season for Aaron Hicks. Had one in Detroit earlier this year, and you see, once he's rounded third, look at that big smile. Two inside the Parkers, and it's not even June yet.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
And the Yankees have a 2-0 lead. Hicks has scored both runs, building on his 3-hit night last night. Meredith, you got a little something on Hicks with the inside the Parker.
Well, when I spoke to him after he did it in Detroit, he told me that he had never hit an inside the park home run at any level in his baseball career. He was really excited about it the first time. I can't imagine how he feels doing it for the second time. But when he did it in Detroit, it was the Yankees' first inside the park home run in 7 years.
Wow. And now he's had 2 in 2 months. He must not have played on any of those fields like with no fences where it just rolls forever in high school.
Yeah, the Little League home run.
Yeah. Judge goes down looking for a second time. In Detroit, Hicks crushed this, but we know how deep it is out there, and he got one heck of a bounce off the base of that wall. Sort of similar in some ways, just a different part of the outfield.
A little more stress from third to home.
Same big smile. And Hicks, who's been waiting to break out, has, with 3 hits last night and already 2 so far tonight.
You know, his last time in Detroit, we showed that video highlight. You just don't see inside the park home runs that much anymore. Obviously, triples and home runs inside the Parkers. So exciting, building the drama. Not much there, as it was easy. He was easily going to make that one.
Stanton fouls that back here.
It makes you think about historically, you know, in the Yankees universe. Deion Sanders inside the park home run with Bo Jackson playing center field. One of the all-timers. Go to YouTube, Yankee fans. That's a good one to watch.
The 1-2 is off the outside corner. How about this, David? This comes from James Smythe from our research department, I guess. Aaron Hicks, the first Yankee to hit multiple inside the park home runs in a season since Mickey Mantle hit 3 back in 1958. Stanton down swinging. It's a long time.
It's back when Mickey could run, right before he hurt his knee, I think.
Mickey had 3 in that season. Also, of course, the Yankee Stadium was so big then, the fence so deep. There was a lot of expanse where you had more of a chance to turn one into an inside the Parker.
You got to dodge the monuments.
That's
right.
right.
Center field.
Sanchez chases.
So many things you take for granted if you've been a Yankee fan or a baseball fan for a long time, and you know, some of the kids don't know there was actual Monument Park was on the field in play.
Right.
Taxi was a good show. Stuff like that.
This is what you come to Yes for. And if you're on YouTube, you can find it all in one sitting. Deion Sanders inside the park homers and Christopher Lloyd clips from Taxi. You get it all.
A couple of clicks and you're there. It's good and bad.
And while you're at it, check out David and his commercial with El Duque.
Yes. Those were great commercials.
Great commercials.
The Ansky commercials.
Ansky, yep.
The El Duque commercial. We had so much fun doing those commercials. And I think we're going to start seeing some new commercials with this group of Yankees.
No doubt. Well, at the start of the season, the Yankees On Demand crew, Brandon Mim, Pete Gurgley, their whole crew, they do these outstanding humorous commercials in-house. And all these guys, they love participating in them. And their personalities really show. Sanchez lines that to left field, his second hit of the game. Alex Gordon has a good arm out there, and Sanchez is not going to test it. He'll hang on with a 2-out single.
Get another look as Duffy with a off-speed delivery down, and look at Sanchez go down and dig it, and then a little flip. Almost like the bat was hot, right? Get out of my hands with the bat.
We saw signs at the end of that homestand where it looked like he was starting to get locked in. Hit a couple of balls hard last night. 2 hits already so far tonight for Sanchez. Austin flips that into right. A base hit. Sanchez turns at second and holds on. Soler has a cannon. And Tyler Austin with a base hit. So the Yankees with 2 on and 2 out as Miguel Andujar will come up.
Almost see that sheepish smile on Austin's face. And you got it. Just kind of flipped it to right field. Fought that thing off. Get off of me. Duffy trying to come in. Austin wipes it to right. Takes the knock.
0-1 on Andujar as the Yankees looking to add to what has been a nightmarish start to the season for Danny Duffy. Gave up 9 runs in 3 1/3 his last time out in Cleveland. Threw the cooler in the dugout and said it was the first time he can ever remember doing that on any level.
And the mystery kind of continues for Danny Duffy, and you can see, boy, when you with the naked eye just watching mid-90s stuff, 96 miles an hour on that delivery, but it's kind of a Murphy's Law year so far for him.
You ever go through an extended stretch like that, David?
It happens. It really does. And sometimes it's more than just random variance. Sometimes in this game, it's just your time to have bad luck. And the problem becomes is if it becomes psychological, and then you accentuate that bad streak.
Popped up. Right field. Soler there, and that will end the inning. But the Yankees add another, courtesy of Aaron Hicks. His bat and his wheels off the top of the wall, with the merry-go-round going as Hicks has his second inside Parker of the year. outstanding representation of all the different teams. And of course, the teams with New York connections, the Cubans and the Black Yankees, two of those teams. Satchel Paige, a 10,000 square foot museum. Josh Gibson Legacy Award, which is given out to the home run leaders from the American and National Leagues each year. So this season, given to Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. And you see their awards, which they're going to pick up during this trip into Kansas City. It's just a terrific museum, and the history is remarkable. And if you get a chance to steal some time with Bob Kendrick, the president of the museum, you will not be disappointed, because that man is a fountain of incredibly energetic knowledge as Escobar reaches on the infield single.
But well said, Ryan. I mean, it is a must-see stop if you come through Kansas City. And not only the Negro League Hall of Fame and Museum, but the Jazz Museum, too. Jazz Music Museum right next door to the Negro League Hall of Fame. Just a wonderful sight. So much effort and love put into that place. And you absolutely have to see it if you come through KC.
One of the things CC Sabathia will do when he comes through Kansas City is he'll try and take different teammates to the museum. Last year, brought Aaron Hicks through. Used to come with Curtis Granderson. That's lined down the left field line and fair into the corner. Escobar can run. He's motoring into third and being waved home. He will score. It's an RBI double for Ryan Goins, and the Royals are on the board. It's 2-1.
Different uniform, same guy. I mean, Ryan Goins has done some damage against the Yankees. One of those kind of obscure names that you wouldn't think, but he has kind of been a Yankee killer, and you can see once this gets down the line, yes, he's going to be sent. Well done. Cuts third base nicely. He's going to score standing up. Former Blue Jay Ryan Goins, and Yankee fans remember, it just seemed like he's had some big hits against the Yankees.
Bunt laid down by Jay, and Duar will fire on to first. A sacrifice bunt. 5-3 advances Goins with one out now here in this third.
Well, to execute this bunt, you have to bunt it to third base, because once Andujar has to commit and make the play, there's nobody home. If Severino could get that off, you saw Andujar kind of stutter step to see if Sevy could get to it, and he couldn't. So well executed by Jay, making the third baseman field that bunt. Now, whether you like the bunt or not, that's another debate.
Yankees bring the infield in here now with one out and the runner on third. Do you like it, David, in that spot?
I'm not loving it, but against Severino, maybe they feel like, you know, they need to try to scratch a run here.
Broken bat, they scratched it. A base hit into center field. Soler drives in Goins, and this game is tied at 2.
Soler is so strong. Loads of talent, and he just gets eaten up here. Hit that below the label almost. You can hear the sound of the bat, broken bat, but muscles it out to the outfield grass into center field for an RBI.
Mike Moustakas steps in. The phrase that Michael always loves to use, fallacy, the predetermined outcome, right? But of course, he would have scored on a single from second anyway, in theory, from Soler, and you give up the out, and you sacrifice the big inning, right?
Exactly. I'm not a fan of giving up outs. I loved it when I was pitching. If you're going to give me an out on a bunt, know, the idea of a man on third base with one out. What are the actual percentages that they score in that situation? It's about 50-50. So you give up an out for a 50-50 shot, and it ends up being a single.
And you're right, perhaps part of the thinking is we don't know how many opportunities we're going to have against Severino. So we just want to try and be able to score that run without the need of a hit. But
even in the third inning.
Right. It's that early. Base hit right field. Moustakas smokes that to right. And the Royals with some hard hit balls off of Severino in this third, as well as some that have just found some grass, and they have 2 on with 1 out.
Watch Sevy, a changeup. It kind of just sits there, and Sevy knows it. Little hop on the end, and Moustakas just covers it. A little bit out in front, but enough to get a line drive out of it, a base hit. And yes, the Royals are cooking here, and the only out of the inning was the bunt.
Two on, 1 out. Salvador Perez shatters his bat. Just got sawed right out of his hands.
Just a razor blade running in. Didn't really even swing the bat. Just trying to get out of the way. Even Salvador Perez is going to take a little time to recover from that one. Should have the bats ready, though. See pointing there. The bad boys are supposed to have those ready.
Is that a free mound visit for Gary Sanchez?
You know, it's not the pitch clock. It's the hitters. It's always the hitters. They take too much time, not the pitchers.
We've seen that today. Severino on the mound waiting. Oh, and 2 now on Perez as Severino trying to wiggle out of some trouble here in the third. Aaron Boone's team trying to win its 8th straight series in order to have a chance to do that tomorrow. They obviously have to win this middle game today after dropping the opener last night to Kansas City. Soler at second, Moustakas at first. Perez doesn't bite on the slider.
It's a big spot for Severino here to stop it right here. Have to go through Perez here, even though he's up in the count, and Merrifield on deck.
The 1-2, he got him. Waving at a slider. Perez down on strikes, and that'll leave it to Merrifield.
Well, if you pitched against Salvador Perez, you know he's a great catcher, and you know he's got some pop on his bat, but he will chase. So excellent job there by Severino and Sanchez to stay with it and get the second out here. Let's go ahead and give you the hitter scouting report brought to you by Jeep. And Whit Merrifield is speed and power with a breakout year last year in 07. Really paid his dues as well. 8 years in the minor leagues. Think about that. He's 29 years old. You know, in 17 rather than 07, but you know, he's 34 stolen bases, 19 home runs, and he's getting better and better. And you know, you really admire a kid. Drafted out of college, 9th rounder in 2010. University of South Carolina, 8 years in the minors, finally broke in, making the most of it.
Before the 2016 season, one of the things he did in an effort to try and boost his big league chances was try and put on muscle and weight. He gained 20 pounds. He was eating 9 eggs every single morning for breakfast. Oatmeal as well, and having 7 different meals a day. And he ended up putting on 20 pounds, which, you know, I think a lot of us would if we ate like that. For him, gratefully, though, it was mostly muscle weight.
Well, his numbers are much better on the big league level than they were on the minor league level. It's his success rate. You know, you mentioned it, Ryan, too, and we were talking about Whit Merrifield and his impact on the game last night. Lifetime, he's 16 for 17 and stealing third base. So the efficiency of the stolen base, the most important part.
The 2-1, 2-2. Big spot early in this game for Luis Severino. He cruised through the first 2 innings. He has surrendered 4 hits here in the third and 2 runs. Taking a Zen breath. Two on, 2 out, 2-2 count. He got him. 99 miles an hour upstairs, and Severino ends the threat. 2-2 game. May 27. When the Yankees take on the Angels, it's MLB Play Ball Weekend, and the first 10,000 guests 14 and younger will receive a Yankees arm sleeve. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Here's Clint Frazier, the Audi scoreboard, 2-2 game. Aaron Hicks scoring on a Gary Sanchez double, and then a Hicks inside the park home run. Royals answering with 2 runs in the bottom of the third. Frazier walked his first plate appearance of the 2018 season and ahead 2-0 here. And now 3-0. Frazier said one of the things he did while he was dealing with the concussion and not knowing when he was going to get back is he would read and watch a lot of presentations about positive thinking. Also ended up spending a lot of time watching Friends, Narcos, The Office, all good choices. But the concussion's such a scary one because there is no definitive timetable. Just kind of waiting to feel like yourself again. Frazier, good take. On a tight pitch, 3-2, and he's walked for the second time tonight. Just slow?
Just low, 93 miles an hour. That's, it's Danny Duffy, right? We talked about him and his struggles. Long inning, last inning, your team gave you 2 runs. You come out and you walk the leadoff guy. It's kind of the story of his season so far. Looking almost tentatively, trying to guide the pitches.
And that's sort of what we started to talk about earlier with his coaching staff trying to imbibe him with some positivity because of how hard he's been on himself and wanting to get him out of his own head a little bit because he's so accountable and he's so aware of the way he's costing his team that has almost created a cycle that doesn't end.
It's a great point, Ryan, and that's how you stay in a slump. You talk yourself into a slump. I always use different examples for players that had great years. I asked Bernie Williams the year he won the batting title, what were you thinking about when you walked to home plate? Bernie's answer, nothing. Just a blank slate. See ball, hit ball, don't think too much.
Well, as Yogi would say, right? Can't hit and think at the same time. There is the ratio for Duffy.
You just a lot of traffic in your starts when you pitch like this, and I had seasons like this too. I mean, there's just somebody on base all the time. There's base runners. You talk about different stats. Whip is a good one. How many base runners do you allow?
Torres flicks that down the right field line, foul, and into the seats.
When there's just always traffic, it just forces you to pitch more tentatively. You make a mistake, especially against a team that's a home run hitting team, and there you go, right on cue. 1.66 whip last. That's just traffic. Crosstown traffic.
Torres slashes that foul. Right. You don't like when instead of the ranking being numerical, it just says last up there for multiple categories for Duffy.
Down around 1.2 would be very respectable good.
Torres battling here with Frazier leading off first and staying alive. That pitch count is starting to climb for Danny Duffy. Couple of big numbers up there already. 14 pitches so far in the fourth and no outs. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming. Torres finds a hole through the left side for a base hit. Frazier will hold on at second. And a hard-earned single for Ronald Torres as the Yankees are set up with 2 on and nobody out.
When's the last time Torres was in the lineup? Are you surprised? Off the end of the bat, a changeup, not a bad pitch from Duffy, but Torres has tremendous contact skills. He puts the bat on the baseball.
He's so wonderful in that role. Because to your point, David, doesn't matter how much time he has off, he comes, he plays, he produces. As Torres lines that foul.
A little less than a week ago, the answer to that question, May 13th. It's the last time Torres was in there. Can't slip anything by Rocky. She's on it. She's right here on me.
I mean, Meredith Marakovits is not just an outstanding clubhouse reporter. She's also a top flight researcher in the booth, always providing additional nuggets. So thanks, Meredith.
Anytime. I do what I can, guys.
Now, I feel like David's the only one who calls you Rocky. Am I right?
No, people used to call me Rocky back in the day. Also, Ken Singleton
He does? Okay.
calls me Rocker
all right.
Rocky.
Torres pounds that deep left. Goodbye. Crushed. Gleyber Torres goes yard, a 3-run shot, and the Yankees retake the lead. It's 5-2.
Pretty good 9-hole hitter. Tried to come in, didn't get it in. That's what you call cutting them off at the pass and launching.
Fourth home run for Torres. And David, they have all been seriously struck.
It's a strong young man who's just going to get better and better.
It does not take 2020 to see that that guy is a stud. Duffy knew it.
Well, he came in at 86.2 miles an hour and it left at 105.7, and yeah, break it down.
Hicks lines that foul.
Torres does that. He's got a little dance going on in the dugout. I think he's got his own little salsa merengue.
He's got some rhythm in those hips.
It's nice. Nice moves.
He's been watching those Ansky Duque Coney commercials. That's what it is.
Might have Dancing in the Stars in his future.
That's right.
Keeps that up.
It's a 1-2 pitch that he just unloaded on. 407 feet to left field. 14th homer allowed by Duffy this season. Second tonight. Hicks had the other and inside the Parker. Barely stayed in the park off the tippy top of the wall. Only Josh Tomlin has served up more.
Walks and homers are a bad combination.
Cool, confident kid, too.
Nice bounce back game from last night.
He said, I'll be better tomorrow. Hicks takes ball 4. He's on for a third time. And the struggles continue for Danny Duffy. Here's StatCast's take on that Torres home run.
John Sterling had some fun with that one.
So did the fan who caught it. I don't know that Yankees fans were totally locked into just how strong Torres is. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. He's hitting bombs.
A couple of things that have really stuck out as you see Bert Smith, the righty's going to get going in a hurry here to back up Danny Duffy, was Aaron Boone talking about Gleyber Torres and says he does everything well. Nothing really jumps out of the page on you, as the description is. Torres is just a great all-around player, but he's a much better defender than we thought. You know, the air last night notwithstanding, his range, he's made some unbelievable plays range-wise. And he's got a chance to be a real home run threat. Already has 4. You thought, okay, play good defense, hit 270, you know, we'll take it.
Right.
No, how about 340? He's already got 4 home runs. He's made Gold Glove plays. And, yeah, he's made a couple of errors.
Judge drives that deep in the air to right center. Racing back Jay. He will get to it and make the catch on the track for a loud first out.
Let's see Judge's reaction. Oh, right away, right?
He knew.
Interesting. I don't think he knew.
I don't think he did either. I'm not sure Duffy knew as well. Doink.
Good microphones working down there tonight.
Seriously. Able to discern between warning track power and home runs.
I think Stanton just hit one with that foul ball. But I got a little flinch up here on that one.
Right. Let's hope that microphone's still working after that. Stan went around 0-2. It's a direct hit.
I heard something like that at Tao one night after midnight in the Big Buddha.
Well after midnight. That's fought off in the air to shallow center. Long way to go for Merrifield, who gets there for the second out. You're talking about the things that make Torres special. I was talking to Marcus Timms last week. He told me a story. He said when he got to Tampa, Torres was down there, you know, as part of his rehab from the Tommy John last year, working with him. And immediately Torres wanted to work with him, and Glaber's picking his brain, and all of a sudden he starts going through the at-bats the Yankees had against Dallas Keuchel in the ALCS in incredible detail. And Marcus Timms was saying it showed me something that not only was this kid watching, but really studying as he was watching last year in the playoffs, knowing where he was headed this year. Sanchez flies out, but Torres gives the Yankees the lead. A 3-run bomb to left, the 4th home run of his career, and why not dance after you give a ride like that? At Yes Network and vote for the Montefiore Doing More Player of the Week. Your choices: Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, or Aaron Hicks. So head there now. Gleyber Torres' 3-run homer gives the Yankees a 5-2 lead. Luis Severino back to work on the Audi scoreboard. 5-7-0 for the Yankees, 2-4-0 for the Royals, as Danny Duffy's struggles continue. Alex Gordon struck out swinging his first time up. 5 strikeouts thus far for Severino. There's another one of those sliders in the zone.
Yeah, that is to me, the telltale sign on who has the best breaking stuff. Throw it right down the middle, and the guy misses it by 6 inches.
That time, got to it, but Torres perfectly placed. Second time we've seen that tonight. 1 down. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Just to go back to that Marcus Thames Gleyber Torres story for a moment. When Marcus was marveling at the detail which Torres watched the ALCS with and paid attention to the approach from the Yankee hitters, he was also talking about the adjustments they made in their approach from start 1 versus Keuchel to start 2 within the series. And Thames was like, whoa, that's next level stuff from this young kid. Flick to right field. Judge towards the gap, makes the catch. 2 out. You know, every time you think about the Gleyber Torres trade, too, as a Yankee fan, you just have to get down on your knees and thank Brian Cash. When you think about it, for just a couple months of giving away Aroldis Chapman, you get him back, and you end up with this stud.
Yeah, it was a sublet, right?
Right. And it worked out for the Cubs, too, obviously. They got the World Series that they wanted, thanks in large part to Chapman.
Little summer sublet. You can have Chappie for a couple of innings or a couple of months. And did I really just say Chappie? Oh,
you did. You did. I wasn't going to tell you, but and Adam Warren you got back too. That is nubbed to the right side. Torres there. An easy shutdown inning from Severino as he retires the Royals 1-2-3. keep our eye on trivia. 3 pitchers have made 30-plus starts in each of the last 8 seasons. Can you name them? Answer coming in the bottom of the 5th. You feeling confident about this one?
Well, I got one right off the top of my head.
Ooh, quickly. See Birch Smith, new pitcher for Kansas City. As the day for Danny Duffy is done, his struggles continue, allowing 5 runs in 4 innings. 95 pitches for those 4 innings. On the GMC scoreboard, the Yankees a 5-2 lead. Middle game of this 3-game set. Tyler Austin singled his last at bat. He had a very productive day in Washington earlier this week in the 5.5 innings that the Yankees played. A 2-run homer to right and a hard-fought, long at bat that resulted in a sacrifice fly to tie the game, which had he not, that would have been a completed game and a loss for the Yankees.
Really did. Almost single-handedly saved the Yankees a rain-shortened loss. Coming into this at bat, sporting an .838 OPS, which is well above average, you know, on base plus slugging. Curveball staying back. That just shows you the talent that Tyler Austin has, the power, natural power the other way.
Austin slams that to right. Another base hit going the other way for Tyler Austin.
Very short and compact, but very powerful. And you see from the side, head behind the ball, not a lot of movement. He's already proved, has Tyler Austin, that he handles left-handed pitching pretty well. And then the hit off the righty here, he's going to get a chance. That's the last piece for Tyler Austin. You know, can he control the strike zone, get his strikeout rate down? Is he an everyday type guy? It's been a real bright spot for the Yankees in the early going here.
And Duhar waits on it, flies it into right. So Lair will make the catch. Let's get some more on Tyler Austin from Rocky.
Well, Ryan, you were talking about the fact that he oftentimes goes opposite field or right center, and that's not something he's necessarily trying to do. He told me that has always been his approach. Hit it up the middle, hit it to right center field, and when he's feeling good at the plate, that's generally where the balls are dropping. As far as the opposite field power, I asked him about that as well, and he said, I simply can't explain it. It's always been there for me. It's been a part of my swing.
And we've seen it since he's come up. How natural that is. By the way, it did not feel natural to me saying Rocky.
No.
No.
You know, it's got, yeah, you got to feel it. You got to feel it.
It's a you thing and a Ken thing and not a me thing.
Sounded a little off to me as well. I'm glad it was as weird for you as it was for me.
Okay, good. We're in concert up here. Never again. Thank you, Meredith. Frazier walked his first 2 times up.
It's the definition of a one-way lead. I ain't going anywhere.
Rolled to short, took a high hop. Escobar handled it beautifully and turns it into a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Trivia answer coming up next. 5-2 Yanks after 4.5. Before we reveal?
Well, Verlander is one of them.
Okay.
No!
Oh, wow. Not one of them. John Lester, Max Scherzer, and Ian Kennedy.
Ian Kennedy's real sleeper at the bottom there. Scherzer you could have banked on, of course. Lester's been solid as a rock.
Yeah, Ian Kennedy would have been the total wild card in that group.
So Verlander had that core muscles injury one year that
That's right.
kind of derailed him.
On the GMC scoreboard, 5-2 Yankees. Kershaw got hurt, prevented him from being in that group. 2015 was the year that Verlander had that injury.
Got some outstanding trivia questions this year. I mean, they are tough, they're sneaky, they're dirty. They try to trick you. That one was pretty straightforward, even with a little twist with Ian Kennedy. Very good one, though.
And a leadoff walk to the number 9 hitter Goings as Severino puts him on. Right, and they're challenging. I can't remember any of these questions this year being obvious. They're all challenging. And we have the music accompaniment as well.
I think the music's growing on people.
I think it is too. Being used as ringtone all across the tri-state area. John Jay sack bunted his last time up. Grounds that past a diving Andujar and into left field, a base hit. And the Royals have 2 on and something stirring with nobody out here in the 5th.
John Jay thinking one thing. Let me go out and just cover that fastball, not do too much, hit it where it's pitched, and snuck it by Andujar.
Been a little every other inning so far tonight for Severino. Very easy second, tough third, easy fourth. So far a tough fifth, and that is just foul.
It's almost as if what we've seen with Sevy, really his last start a little bit and this start is, you know, when he's grooving so fast, he's trying to increase the pace, and then when he gets in trouble, he slows it down too much. There's a balance there in between.
Could be two. To second for one, and on to first. A 6-4-3 and much needed double play for Luis Severino as Goins advances to third.
Severino takes that break on the previous pitch that was foul and turns it into a tailor-made 6-4-3.
I asked Aaron Boone before Severino's last start, what's the biggest area of growth he's seen this year from last year for Severino? Obviously last year watching from the outside, this year from the inside as far as Boone goes, but he said his ability to self-correct more quickly out of the mound. He said instead of taking an inning or two, feels like Severino can do it after a batter or two now.
It's a great point, and that's what we've all seen.
Broken bat that will find grass. A muscled RBI single for Moustakas. It's a 5-3 game.
Sanchez kind of leaning, setting up away. Severino crossfires over on the inside part, and Moustakas trades a bat for an RBI single.
Here's Salvador Perez, who has walked and struck out. He drives that in the air deep to left field. Stanton racing back, looking up. It's off the wall. Stanton will fire in. Rounding third is Moustakas. The throw home is in time. Sanchez the scoop and the tag to nail Moustakas and ends the inning.
Such a close play. Royals are debating on whether to challenge or not. Another look. Not sure if I see anything conclusive there at all. Moustakas voices his opinion. Another one's not conclusive, hard to say.
Yeah.
That one might be right there. That's the best angle we saw. And that's the best case for the Royals to challenge.
Remember, there needs to be clear and convincing evidence in order for the call to be overturned. Now, one of the things that made that a more difficult play is Stanton's throw to Torres was offline. And Torres kind of had to cross his body to gather it and then turn and throw. Couldn't get quite as much on it. Still delivered it accurately.
Yeah, Torres really almost saved that play. Didn't look like there was going to be a chance, and Torres got it online.
Now the crowd is cheering, thinking they've seen definitive angles. It depends when Sanchez made contact with the arm of Moustakas. Because from one angle, you're a little hidden and can't tell exactly when he hits. Is it there? I'm not sure he hit home plate yet.
Or if
is
the
it
tag.
there?
Yeah, is the tag there?
If the tag is there on that first freeze we just showed, then I think he's out. But if it's not till that second sort of down on the body, then his hand was in. There comes the call. Moustakas is out. So Torres able to clean up the relay. Finished off by a beautiful scoop and tag from Sanchez, just nailing Moustakas, and Luis Severino loves it. With Stanton, it was really saved by Ronald Torres.
Yeah, Stanton looks like he's just interested in getting rid of it quickly. And it's a little offline, and what a pick, a backhanded pick. And then to be able to get enough mustard on that throw. Torres, 85.1 miles an hour, and right here, and then Sanchez with the tag, and Sevy playing umpire.
And of course, if you're Ronald Torres, you lead off the next inning with a hit. He's going to go for two here. The turn and throw from Jay, not in time. And Ronald Torres, always productive, has his second hit of the night.
Well, of course he did. I mean, are you surprised? Torres makes an unbelievable play in the field, and then before you can blink, he's got a leadoff double.
Here's Gleyber Torres, whose three-run homer is the difference so far in this game. 407 feet to left field off of Danny Duffy. You know, looking at that replay again, I mean, that was just a terrific play by Torres. To pick it, come across his body, turn and throw all in one motion that accurately with that velocity.
Made it look easy. You know, we see that time and time again with major league players that make very difficult plays look easy. Momentum going the opposite direction, as you noted. That was one of those calls at home plate that whichever way it went, it was going to have to stand, because there was no conclusive evidence with any of those shots.
That's a great point. If Moustakas is called safe there, it's likely going to stand.
He would have stayed safe. I think that's why you saw the reaction from that guy, Ned Yost, about just the original call, being disappointed in it.
One and two on Torres. Gleyber stays alive. Gleyber on base a few times last night. Bouncing back from a tough defensive night with a 3-run homer so far this evening. Battling here against Birch Smith.
I mean, that's really shallow. John Jay in center field. We talked about all the square footage here at the K. Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City, man. There's a lot of room there, and that is really shallow, really around the horn.
Hung on to by Perez on the foul tip. Torres down on strikes. Time for the Coors Light refreshing finish. Aaron Hicks with not his first, his second inside the park home run of the year. Thought he had it over the wall. Instead, he had it off the top of the wall, and a big smile from Hicks as he touched home plate. And as we noted earlier, first Yankee since Mickey Mantle in 1958 with multiple inside the park home runs in one season.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, you know, and that you hear these names with this group of Yankees. It seems like every other day it's Gleyber Torres doing something that Mickey Mantle did when he was his age, or Miguel Andujar doing something Joe DiMaggio did when he was young and at that age. You know, I mentioned before, maybe that was before Mickey hurt his knee. He actually hurt his knee in the early 50s. You know, you always get corrected if you go to Twitter in between innings, right?
No doubt.
You find out. But yeah, Mickey actually hurt his knee earlier in the early 50s. By 58, you know, Mickey was hitting him out in the monuments and
taking advantage of some pinball out there. Perez was going to fire down to second, but could not hang on. Torres back. Talk about the history. Here's another note. First major league player with 2 inside the park home runs before the end of May since Brian McRae back in 1991 did it with the Royals.
B-Mac could play some center field too.
Sure could. Strike to Hicks. Brian McRae actually hit 2 home runs in the first Yankee game I ever went to as a kid.
Wow. What was that about?
93.
You caught me. I was going there. So you do realize, Ryan, how spoiled you are. Your timing in life is everything, right?
It's unbelievable.
You missed the Mel Hall years.
That's it.
So you came right about the time Big O'Neill came over in the big trade.
No, 93 was when I started watching. 94 was the first year where I like watch every game. Hicks grounds that hard, but into Merrifield, who will throw him. Hicks just avoided first base altogether as he saw that throw ticketed for his helmet.
Hunter Dozier got the bag. Okay. Harder than it had to be.
You know, to your point about the timing, when the Yankees won in '96, I was driving with my dad the next morning. We listened to the radio, soaking it in, and He says to me, enjoy this feeling. It may not happen again. Enjoy this. Soak it up. Of course, 98, 99, 2000. The 1-0.
Well, it all started from the ground up. Gene Stick Michael, good scouting, good development, and that's kind of, you know, what you're sensing now. It's too soon to start comparative analysis with 98 Yankees in this current crop, but this team's built from the ground up. That's what's getting Yankee fans so excited. Something you can believe in. Start out and follow. Talked about the minor league show that we have on Yes. You get to know these kids, the homegrown. That's what the Royals had here in their recent run, was a homegrown situation and talent that kind of came to an end.
On the outside corner, strike 3. Judge down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. Royals work around the double from Torres. Still 5-3 game. This season, put the pinstripes in the palm of your hand. Stream Yankees baseball on Yes using Fox Sports Go, presented by T-Mobile. Bottom of the 6th inning, Ryan Ruocco, David Cohn, Meredith Marakovitz with you, our entire Yes Network crew. We appreciate you spending part of your Saturday evening with us. Yankees a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th. Gleyber Torres 3-run homer the difference right now, as that is hit in the air to left field and deep. Stanton racing back, looking up, and it's off the wall. And Whit Merrifield has a hard-stung double to lead off the 6th.
We talked about speed and power. Whit Merrifield's got both. Handling the Severino fastball middle in, right in the wheelhouse. The only question is if it stays in the park or not.
So Severino's given up some hard contact over these last couple innings. And the Yankee bullpen starting to stir as a result. Just not used to seeing gapped balls banging off the wall off of Severino. By the way, David, I should clean up something. It's inconsequential in the grand scheme of life, but it was Terry Shumpert, who hit the 2 home runs in the first game I ever went to, not
Wow.
Brian McRae.
Wow.
Chad Green warming in the Yankee bullpen.
The 10 base runners for Severino here in the bottom of the 6th with nobody out. So a lot of traffic for him as well, Ryan, and you're right. And he's not used to this.
Got Gordon swinging. Second time he has been fanned tonight.
Gordon is not picking up Severino's slider. So a good thing to go right back to it. And once again, success.
6 strikeout for Severino. Here's Hunter Dozier.
Just looks like Severino's command's a little off with his fastball. Most of these hits he's given up have been on fastballs he's missed on the other side of the plate. Sanchez setting up away, ends up in. Slider's been pretty good. The strikeouts have come on sliders, pretty good. Changeup, not really established it as well.
Time a high slider.
Can just tell by the body language, right? He's just slowing down a little bit. Not quite as confident as we're used to seeing him. It happens. You know, it happens to every pitcher. Kind of trying to figure it out a little more. It's not going the way you thought.
Well, can't those be the more satisfying wins when you're able to massage your way through a game and grind it out?
Yeah, if this is Severino's, you know, B or C game, he's still winning. Still got your team in it, still battling, and 54-20. I mean, strikes to balls are very good. It's more wild within the strike zone. His fastball command within the strike zone.
Fly ball right field. Judge drifts back a few steps. Merrifield tags. He'll head to third. Judge has a cannon. And Merrifield into third safely. But Judge provided a moment of doubt with that laser.
See the look on Merrifield's face? Like looking back, there's no business making that play close. That's pretty deep out and right. And Judge right over the top. Just a little offline.
If that's online, he has a chance.
And Merrifield's like, wait, it shouldn't even been a throw there.
He's like, the ball's here? Strike one to Escobar.
The Judge's throwing mechanics are A+.
Yes.
Right over the top, 4-seam carry. And that's how you teach an outfielder to throw and get carry on the ball.
Making Tom Amansky immensely proud. Cued right back to Severino. And Luis Severino pitches around the leadoff double. It's still a 5-3 Yankees lead after 6. Look at the league leaders. They are brought to you by your local Tri-State Volkswagen dealers. Batted balls with 110 mile per hour or higher exit velocity since 2017. Giancarlo Stanton 1, Aaron Judge 2. And a wide lead between them and the rest of the field. And I think the key number there, right, is the one you saw on the bottom of the tombstone graphic, and that is the average exit velocity in the major leagues, which is 88 miles an hour.
Exactly. Within context, right? What is the average exit velocity? What is the average major leaguer? You know, how hard does he hit it?
Hung on to by Perez, 1-2.
Hit the ball harder. It comes off your bat faster at the right launch angle. Your probability to get a hit is so greatly increased. For me, with Stanton, it's about getting good pitches to hit. When we've seen him struggle, he chases. He gets caught in between a little bit.
Well, got a good pitch there. Did he get enough? No. Right in front of the wall. Gordon able to haul it in for the first out.
Good pitch to hit, a hanging slider on the inner half. Good swing. Just missed it. Made a bid. It's probably 10 rows deep at Yankee Stadium.
Mm-hmm. Gary Sanchez, 2 hits already tonight, including an RBI double, takes strike 1. For those scoring at home, the exit velocity was 91.5 on that Stanton flyout.
352 feet.
That one earlier to right center. That was some warning track power as well. That tilts in for a strike.
It's a full 330 down the lines here at Kauffman Stadium. 387 in the mid gap. And 410 straight away.
Sanchez wraps that deep left. Does it have the height? It does. Goodbye. Gary Sanchez rips his 11th home run of the year, and it's a 6-3 Yankees lead.
Another slider. Breaking ball right there. Sanchez got it on the line. All about launch angle.
Sanchez provides a little insurance for the Yankees.
Hit it a little harder and a little lower. Right on cue. A little harder, a little lower, goes a little further.
A laser out to left for Sanchez.
It's another good at bat from Gary.
Austin down looking. With the Yankees scoring their 6th run, you get 50% off all regular menu price pizzas tomorrow at papajohns.com. Just use the promo code Yankees6 tomorrow at papajohns.com for 50% off all pizzas. And Duhar hits that hard and through into left center field for a base hit. 2-out single for Miguel Andujar, his first hit of the game. You know, we've referenced that Katie Sharp article a few times in The Athletic that detailed Sanchez and some of the things he's done well this season that maybe haven't manifested in traditional success statistically. But one of the other things that she pointed out. It was how well Gary has hit in unfavorable counts this year. 0-1, 0-2, 1-2. That was another one of those situations on the home run. That's lined into right center field and will get down for Frazier. Cut off by Jay, and Duar rounding third. He is heading home. Here's the throw. In time to nail Duar at the plate as Perez put the tag on his foot to end the inning.
Once again, obviously, the Yankee bench is going to have a little bit of time to look at this and see if they want to challenge.
He's out. And he kind of slowed up to gear up for his slide right there.
Yeah, look, he didn't know which way to go with it. Head first or feet first, and chose to break it down and go feet first, and really did slow down.
And as a result, thrown out by Merrifield. 6-3 Yankees after 6.5. Matchup brought to you by People's United Bank NA. Luis Severino's night is done. 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs. Able to scatter some base runners and strand some in the final frames. And Danny Duffy was chased early thanks to a 3-run homer from Gleyber Torres. He gave up 5 runs in 4 innings as his struggling season continues. And Chad Green on in relief of Luis Severino.
Severino going to finish with just 77 pitches.
Oh, that's being a teammate. Something in Ronald Torres' eye, and Gleyber Torres was trying to take care of it himself. Become a serious operation there. Took off the eye black. Blaine Boyer up in the Royals bullpen. That's real friendship right there.
Yeah, except he got a little pine tar in his eye now, so that's not sanitary. Let the trainer do it.
It's like, I don't know, it's just tape though, you know? It's not that real pine tar. Is that what eye black actually consists of? No.
No. I mean, you know, when Torres was trying to help, you know, clear out his eye with his hands.
Oh, he's got pine tar in his hands. Yeah. Yes. True.
Those little patches they wear now,
yes.
You know, the fake eye black things. That's just Style Master stuff. You know, that's eye wash.
It does look kind of cool.
That's it. I mean, Nolan Ryan used to pitch with that. The real eye black.
The only thing more intimidating than Nolan Ryan is Nolan Ryan in eye black.
Yeah, see, like he can't see very well, and he's a little wild that day.
So here's 102 in the ribs.
Yeah, I don't really know where it's going.
There's the real eye black.
I mean, players, some players still swear by it. It cuts down the glare.
Oh, you got to just do it in one motion. Just rip it.
Ouch.
Oh, man. You could see that skin flapping. Hopefully they're still friends after that.
Well, we mentioned Severino, only 77 pitches. Chad Green in, well rested. So that's part of the equation here for Aaron Boone.
Driven to left center field. Stanton racing over, won't get to it. It'll go to the wall. Goins rounding second, and we'll hold on there. His second double of the game, and Ryan Goins has been on base all 3 times for Kansas City. I was talking to Chad Green earlier today about that length of time between pitching. He last pitched May 13th. Said he hasn't done anything different routine-wise. Said if he didn't pitch today or tomorrow, then he would have thrown some sort of pen on the side or done some work. But that he just took the mentality of, hey, let's think of this rest as a blessing in the course of a long season.
Take it when you can get it.
Six days without throwing is very rare for this guy.
Kind of a hard thing to explain when you're a pitcher and you feel a little too strong or too rested. Yeah, your velocity's still there, but you tend to muscle the ball. You tend to overthrow. Your command therefore suffers.
'97 right down the middle, and John Jay is down on strikes. Fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios by Verizon. .97 miles an hour for Green's strikeout of Jay in the first out of the inning. Roll to third, going to be a tough play for Andujar, and safe at first is Soler. Goins hangs at second.
That's the measuring stick for a third baseman. This throw, this play. And another look on Yesbo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz.
Ooh, he might be
dealer.
out.
And you can see Aaron Boone wants to take a look at this one once again.
The Yesmo might have given a somewhat definitive look there.
Good arm strength from Andujar, and a good one hop too. It was easy for Austin to handle. Another look again.
I think he's out. I don't think the foot has come down on the bag yet.
It looked like the foot was hovering right over the bag as the ball hit Austin's mitt.
He's out.
He's out, and the ball's hitting the back of the glove, which is
Yep.
what it takes.
So Andujar uses the cannon to retire Soler for the second out. Nice work from Aaron Boone, Brett Weber, and the Yankees staff to turn an infield single into an out.
They were very decisive and quick with their decision making. Good challenge.
So now instead of 2 on and 1 out with Moustakas as the potential tying run, 1 on and 2 out, and strike 1 to Moustakas. Couple of singles and an RBI so far tonight for Mike Moustakas. And he's behind 0-2. Green trying to strand Goins at second after the leadoff double. Struck out Jay, got Soler on that 5-3, and now 0-2 on Moustakas. He got him. Heat upstairs, and Moustakas is retired, inning over. Green pitches around the leadoff double and preserves a 6-3 Yankees lead as we head to the 8th. Visit Dodge.com today. By the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. And buy your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on all models. The rain has held up. Beautiful night in Kansas City on the Hyundai scoreboard. Yankees 6, Royals 3. New pitcher Blaine Boyer. Royals are his 9th team in his 12-year big league career. And you see the ERA is less than desirable so far this season for Boyer. It's Torres, pops it up. Foul ground, Dozier with room. 1 out. And now a quick word from Spectrum.
Spectrum Internet. No data caps, no contracts. Just faster speeds with better performance.
Here's Gleyber Torres, whose 3-run homer in the 4th. Took a 2-2 game, turned it into a 5-2 Yankee lead. Gary Sanchez has added a solo home run since. Royals have tacked on one themselves. Yesterday, the Royals scoreboard caused a little bit of a stir as you see Dellin Betances warming for the Yankees. In the original lineup they posted here in-house at Kauffman Stadium, they had Ronald Torres starting at second instead of Torres. And immediately Yankees fans panicked on Twitter saying, well, what's wrong with Gleyber Torres? Because obviously yesterday wouldn't have been a day off for him after the days off the Yankees got courtesy of rain.
It's the first thing I thought as well.
But it was just an internal error. Gleyber obviously was in the lineup last night and is fine.
Torres.
Yeah, you could see where that would happen. Here's the homer from the 4th.
What's his 23rd game in the big leagues? He's got 4 home runs. About 75 at-bats, 4 home runs. Real pop, maybe. Talked about Torres and the scouts. Oh, maybe a 15 homer guy. No, maybe 20, 25 homer guy. With Gold Glove caliber defense and with well above average range. He could go get it. Moves a lot better than advertised around the bag, around second base. Great range, strong arm. Runs better than average. We thought he was kind of average speed. He's above average. Statcast has him above average speed, running the bases. And now, whoa, he's got some pop in that bat too. This guy was a top prospect for a lot of years. He's better than advertised. That's hard to do for, it's not like he's slipped through the, under the radar coming here.
That's a great point.
It's a top 10 prospect and he undervalued. He's better than we thought.
At 21 years old. Rolls that slowly to third. Not Moustakas, but instead Goins makes the play. Looked like Moustakas with how smoothly he made it to retire Torres.
I don't understand how Goins isn't an everyday player. I mean, just seeing him play against the Yankees over the years, he makes great defensive plays like that. He hits doubles, he hits booming home runs. If he played against the Yankees every day, he'd be an all-star.
Feels like it. Here's Aaron Hicks, has had a very productive game. A single, an inside the park homer, a walk, 2 runs scored. After a 3-hit game last night. Batting average has creeped up to 243 thanks to these last 2 games, and the on-base percentage nearing 350. Blaine Boyer was with the Red Sox last season. The 1-2. 2-2.
Another big crowd here. Kansas City in the bobblehead night. You mentioned the George Brett Pine Tar bobblehead.
33,684 fans in attendance tonight. As Hicks jackknifes out of the way and keeps his footing on ball 3, count now full.
Classic Midwestern style too. Tailgating, big deal here. Get here early, get the barbecue sparked up. Got the games going on in the parking lot.
That's my favorite part of broadcasting a Chiefs game here, is that ride in through the parking lot, smelling that barbecue. That's drilled to right field, but Soler gets there and catches the knuckler just before it hits the grass.
Or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Time for T-Mobile's Hats Off for Heroes. Ian Kennedy, a supporter of the VFW, the USO, the Folds of Honor. Bob Feller, Active Valor Award finalist, has spent 12 seasons in the big leagues, including, of course, starting his career with the Yankees, and was 21-4 with a 2.88 ERA in 2011 with Arizona. Led the National League in wins that season. I saw Ian Kennedy earlier today as Dylan Betances on deals low to Perez, and he was at his daughter's softball game earlier, and he said he doesn't do any coaching though. He doesn't like to say anything, or just wants to watch, let those coaches do their thing. On the Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees a 6-3 lead on the Royals. Torres did not go around.
That was the trivia, right? 8 straight seasons of 30, at least 30 starts, right? Ian Kennedy's on that list.
He is. Scherzer.
Very durable.
And John Lester was the other, yeah. Yankees will not see Kennedy in this series. Eric Skoglund goes tomorrow, lefty, against Sonny Gray. Flipped in the air to center. Hicks over towards right center, puts it away, 1 down. The numbers for Dellin Betances this year, the ERA may not be great at this moment, but his strikeouts have been there. 33 in 18 1/3 innings. And you all have heard this over the last couple of weeks, just how good he feels right now. And over his last couple of outings, he's had the results to match how good he feels.
It's really been an extended run with Dellin where he's got his fastball back too. Upper 90s. You know, he's back to a 2-pitch pitcher rather than relying so much on that breaking ball.
Fly ball right field. Judge. 2 down.
He gets closer to 50-50 fastball breaking ball. Dellin's much more effective. You know, he becomes a lot more predictable when it becomes 70-30. I mean 70% breaking stuff. When you have a fastball that can approach 100 miles an hour, you know, it's a good thing to use as a weapon.
No reason to keep that club in the bag. And then you could drop that 83-mile-an-hour breaking ball in the outside corner.
The best weapon a pitcher has is a little mystery, a little uncertainty in the hitter's mind as to what's coming. If you take the mystery away, you're giving the hitter an advantage.
The 1-1. Another good breaking ball, 1-2. And now he has options.
Severino kind of found a hole with Gordon earlier in the game. The slider, he just didn't seem to be picking up, especially down and in.
Tried to paint with the fastball, just missed.
He had him. You see Gordon's reaction there, not looking for that. All you got to do is find the strike zone. Gordon was not ready for that pitch. He just missed off in. Good try at 98.
The 2-2 from Betances. Got him that time. On the corner, 98. Goodbye. A 1-2-3 8th inning for Dellin Betances, and the Yankees nurse a 6-3 lead into the 9th. Dealers. By People's United Bank, where the technology is as helpful as the people. And by the Ram Spring Sales Event, going on now. Ryan Rucco, David Cole, Meredith Morakovitz, our entire Yes Network crew, thanking you for hanging out with us on your Saturday night. Yankees a 6-3 lead over the Royals, trying to set up a rubber game tomorrow afternoon here in Kansas City. Aaron Judge 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts, and takes ball 1. You know, today is actually an anniversary that I think will mean something to you, David. 20 years since the brawl with Armando Benitez.
Remember it like it was yesterday. Total cheap shot from Benitez. Bernie takes him deep, 3-run shot, put us up 7-5 late in the game. Next pitch. Why you hit Tino? He hit Tino right in the shoulder blade. Middle of the back, caught him on the shoulder blade. Tino really had a hard time recovering from that. Probably had a little hairline fracture on his shoulder blade. But yes, it was one of those ugly ones. Aroldis Chapman is going to be ready.
Or Chappie, as you called him earlier.
Yes. Slip of the tongue.
3-0 on Judge. You know he has the green light and uses it. Fouls it off. Of course, when we think about the Benitez brawl, we think about Graham Lloyd and Jeff Nelson storming in from the bullpen, and Darryl Strawberry with Alan Mills in the dugout.
Yeah, that one just did not want to end either, and it carried over into the dugout. So a lot of stuff happened in that dugout that even the cameras didn't see.
The 3-1. Judge hits it hard, but perfectly played was Merrifield up the middle to retire Judge, who's 0 for 5. Hey, tonight after the postgame, don't miss the latest episode of Forbes Sports Money to find out what is driving baseball's improving demographics. Plus, hear about the latest advancements in sports technology using augmented reality. It's only on Yes. I'm guessing you experienced some of those things in the dugout that weren't caught on camera.
I was. Somehow I found myself down in that dugout too. It was the Orioles dugout at the old Yankee Stadium. I actually started that game. I was a starting pitcher, and I was back up in the clubhouse. I was out of the game and icing my arm, and I had to throw on a jacket and my flip-flops and to run down on the field. I ended up with my jacket off in that dugout, and I'm barefoot with flip-flops.
Oh, man. Stanton powers that. Deep left center, and that is long gone. A bomb from Giancarlo Stanton into the fountains. And it's 7-3 Yankees. '11th home run of the year for Stanton. He flirted a couple times tonight, and this time he gets to touch them all. Here is Sanchez, who has 3 hits, homered his last time.
A majestic moonshot. Slider, and immediately off the bat at 112 miles an hour and 432 feet into the fountains here at the K.
Hit the warning track in 2 previous at-bats. That was a no-doubter. 4th home run of the night for the Yankees. 3 of them over the wall, and then Aaron Hicks inside the Parker. Sanchez wants to get another. High drive, deep left, to the wall and gone. Second home run of the evening for Gary Sanchez, and the Yankees Bombers are putting on a show.
I thought the Yankees had some pretty good swings last night and just missed. Tonight they're not missing. Sanchez can enjoy this one. Another moonshot. The only question is carry, and yes, just enough.
That's what StatCast needs next, the height of these moonshots.
That one was higher. That was up there from Gary. 38-degree launch angle. Stanton's was 30 degrees of launch angle, so that one was 7-8 seconds of hang time at least.
You see Sanchez is lapping the field when it comes to home runs by a catcher since he hit his first. Stanton and Sanchez go back to back. And the Yankees' cushion is now 5 runs. Grounded to short. Escobar throws out Austin. Now it's Chapman who's still up in the Yankee pen, but he has not thrown in a while. So you think Aaron Boone going to let him get some work?
Does he need the work? Right. I mean, that is the question. Day game tomorrow.
The Mashers enjoying some rest there on the bench. 4-hit night for Sanchez and a couple of homers.
Close to 7. I was close.
Yeah.
6.7 seconds. And the thing about that hang time is those are enjoyable home runs for the fans because they're so high. You get so much time to watch it. Everybody in the upper deck got to wave at that one on the way out.
That's so true. You get to soak in all of its majesty.
Everybody got a chance to see that.
Our StatCast is telling us 153 feet high. Skyscraper climbing.
Which just shows you how strong he really is to hit it that high and still get the carry, the strength behind it to carry it on out of here.
10th career multi-home run game for Sanchez, 3rd this season, as Andujar twists away from ball 2.
Sanchez and Stanton just, you know, I mean, we're talking about exit velocity. That wasn't the hardest hit ball this inning. Aaron Judge's ground ball. That shows you the importance of launch angle, right, of getting the ball in the air. Aaron Judge's ball was 114.6 miles an hour. The ground ball that you just kind of, you know, what ho hum, you know. That was the hardest hit ball of the inning. Was his for an out.
Good take from Andujar as that was buzzed off the outside corner. Count now full. The payoff. Broken bat, rolled slowly to second. Merrifield tosses out Andujar, and that will end the inning, but not before back-to-back jacks. Stanton with a moonshot into the fountains, and Sanchez with his second of the night. It's 8-3 Yankees. Stadium, start your game day at 1 o'clock with Audi batting practice today and the Chevy Yankees pregame. Then we'll have all the action as the Bombers battle the Royals right here on Yes and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Time for the game summary here in Kansas City. It's brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Yankees jumped up 2-0 courtesy of Aaron Hicks production. Kansas City answered. Then a Gleyber Torres 3-run homer separated the Yankees, and they have added since. Now let's go back to Sunday when Dellin Betances was finished with his outing, and during it he had been kind of toying with a cut on his finger, and then tonight the final pitch he threw, you see again messing with that right hand a little bit.
Yeah, the ring finger, which doesn't really come into play throwing the ball, but then afterwards he's got an issue. I don't know if his fingernail or something is causing that ring finger to get cut.
Because it's not a blister. It is exactly what you said. It's a cut. Aroldis Chapman on in a 5-run game. That's not thrown in a while. So getting some work. And of course the deal with Betances. Make sure you stay tuned to the post game. Meredith Marakovitz always working the clubhouse, digging everything up. Two and two. Hunter Dozier 0 for 3 tonight. Royals had some opportunities against Luis Severino. Hits the balls hard, had quite a few base runners. Severino was able to strand the majority of them. Ooh, look out. That's a scary one. Jim Wolf was immediately grabbed and helped by Gary Sanchez.
Another look. Chapman throws it hard. So you know it comes off that bat hard, straight back.
He's going to make sure that he's good to go.
In some ways, the fact that the mask flew off means it wasn't direct. It kind of shaved it to the side just enough.
Nice reaction from the crowd here in Kansas City. Pretty quick reaction from Gary Sanchez, too. Going to catch Jim Wolf. That's a special relationship back there. You got to take care of each other. The 2-2. Ooh. That was in the zone.
You know, so much life on that pitch. It almost took Gary's mitt up above the zone after he caught it.
Ball 4 off the outside corner. And now another quick word from Spectrum.
Spectrum Internet. No data caps, no contracts. Just faster speeds with better performance.
Here's Alcides Escobar. 1 for 3 tonight. Singled and scored in the third. Yankees trying to lock down an 8-3 win. Set up a rubber game tomorrow. Sonny Gray will be on the hill for the Yankees. Eric Skoglund will go for the Royals. As that tilts a little high. 1-0. There's a strike. Abraham Almonte in the on-deck circle, ready to hit for Ryan Goins. One and two. You may say Ryan Goins is having an amazing night. Why would you pinch hit for him? Just so it's strictly lefty-righty deal. Doesn't mean you have to love that decision, though. The 1-2 popped up behind the plate and into the seats. Following tomorrow game in Kansas City, the Yankees will play 3 in Texas against a Rangers team that has gotten off to a really rough start.
Yeah, a lot of talk about them being open for business in terms of trading some of their veteran players.
A little low with that pitch. Cole Hamels being a name that's garnering attention there. The 2-2. Pesky at bat from Escobar. And the pitch count already at 13 in the inning for Chapman.
Yeah, no easy at bats for Chapman. Hunter Dozier worked a long at bat and then a walk and then here again.
And we talked about it yesterday. Even though the Royals are towards the bottom of the league in most offensive categories, they're the hardest team in Major League Baseball to strike out. Still fighting.
So it really paid off for them in this recent World Series championship that they had. The ability to make contact and the ability to catch the baseball. That really paid dividends in postseason, especially against the Mets, who had trouble catching the baseball.
And you really saw that manifest in that series. Swing and a miss on the slider. Chapman fans Escobar for the first out. Take a look at Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Escobar chasing that slider. Here is Abraham Almonte pinch hitting for Goins. And takes inside at a crackling fastball, 100 miles an hour.
Almonte, 5'9", 210. He does have a little power. That's probably why Ned Yost opted for him. And wow.
Whoa. Made it a little closer than you would have thought there at second, as it ricocheted right back to Sanchez.
Holy cow, coming right into your living room.
The Yankees are holding up a second. They want to make sure that
Dozier might have come off the bag.
Let's see. Ooh. Was there a second where, yeah, there might have been. And the Yankees are going to have them take a look at this. Let's see. Gloves on him. He's off the bag for a second there.
Yeah, you couldn't see where the backhand came in to take the place. Wow.
Yeah, I think he's out.
Could certainly make a case for it right there.
And Glaber knew it right away. He definitely hopped off the bag momentarily on that slide. Question was the glove on him at that exact moment?
It's one of the unintended consequences of instant replay.
If it's on him there, he's out.
These are the type of plays that this isn't what instant replay is supposed to be about. The little ticky-tacky, did he come up off? You know, that's one of the problems that you know, a lot of anti-replay people talk about within the game is these types of calls. And yes, he probably was momentarily off the bag after initially being safe.
Yankees benefited from replay a couple times tonight. An outstanding relay throw in the fifth from Ronald Torres that was upheld after replay to end the inning. Would have made it a one-run game. Instead, preserved a two-run Yankees lead. And let's see what happens here. He's out. Another positive replay result for Brett Weber, Aaron Boone, and the New York Yankees.
Been a tough night for the Royals on the replay game.
Yankees won a challenge earlier on a play at third with Miguel Andujar in the seventh inning. That was at a big moment. They had the Royals not win their challenge on the Torres relay throw, and now this here clears the bases. 2 out. And what a throw from Sanchez to make that even possible. 4 hits and then a laser off a fired fastball over his head to finish things off. Two and 2 on Almonte. Sanchez wants to go through the signs again. Missed inside. Aaron Boone's looking up at the scoreboard, seeing that it said 3-0 and wanted to make sure and check with Jim Wolf that it was a full count, which it is. Here is the payoff. Grounded to short. This should end it. It does. Ball game. Yankees win it 8-3 as they take the middle game of this 3-game set and set up a rubber game tomorrow afternoon.
Just what the doctor ordered. Sanchez a monster night. Aaron Hicks back to life. Severino battling, keeping his team in the game. Giancarlo Stanton hit the ball hard tonight. Got one of them to leave the yard. A nice bounce back win for the Yankees after a tough week of weather. A little bit flat last night. Back to life tonight.
At 8-3, Yankees win.